Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of
Rating Arizona.
Beers, brought to you by the one, the only King's Beer and Wine, located in
Central Thomas. Midtown.
Midtown.
It is actually Midtown. I was editing in an episode the other day, and as we were talking about it, joking, I looked on the map, and it says right there in Google Maps, Midtown.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, that's solved.
Because of us.
Mystery solved.
Yeah.
I think probably Google put it because they heard this
Exactly.
one of the episodes.
That's what I heard. There was credit for us in that. So
So we're going to take you on a beer adventure today.
Yes, sir.
And we are your hostesses. My name is Marcus Piña at Brewery 602, and this is the great Eric Walters.
Eric Lee Walters. I'm going to start using my middle name, too.
Lee Walters. Yeah. Man, that sounds super like I don't know, like a military-ish.
It does. Yeah, it does. Or a serial killer or something, right?
Yeah, that was the next one. So we're gonna jump right in on this one.
Heck yeah.
So we got a beer, a near beer
Yeah.
out of Arizona Wilderness. They have a couple locations, actually. They have one on, I guess it's not Midtown. I guess it's downtown Phoenix.
Downtown, yep.
And they also have a location, their OG location in, is it Gilbert?
Gilbert, yep.
So
yep.
we call it Gilbert, but it's really like Gilbert, Chandler, Tempe, Mesa.
I always say,
I think it's all in it's right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the Gilbert area. And so Arizona Wilderness has been around for a long time. Really well known for using Arizona ingredients, especially like in their food and in their beer. You see now with malts and Arizona hops a lot of times. And whenever they could use Arizona ingredients, they'll use them.
I dig it, man. I like what Arizona Wilderness does.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the brand, and then they follow through with what they do. It's not just cool design and cool ideas. It's like they're doing the stuff, you
Absolutely.
know. So this is interesting.
This
Arizona.
This is Arizona, not NA. So this is an NA beer. This is a non-alcoholic India Pale Ale coming in at less than 0.5% ABV.
Yeah.
So I think you get under 0.5%, and you could call it NA.
Yeah. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that, under 0.5%, and you're good to go.
And this is kind of a new trend that, you know, mocktails and non-alcoholic beer, and it even says on the back, it says for our non-beer drinkers or break takers, you know, because I mean I could use a break once in a while myself.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So so this is interesting. Any ideas how they make a non-alcoholic beer?
I was going to ask you because how do they do it?
How do they do it?
How do they do it? So this is an IPA too.
This is an India Pale Ale, so it's. So I mean, I think there's several methods, and none of them are cheap, and a lot of them need some really sophisticated equipment to do.
Gotcha.
But I think the gist of it, and you know, you guys can reach out and correct me because I'm probably wrong, but I think the gist of it is alcohol obviously evaporates at a different temperature than water does.
Okay,
evaporates at a much lower temperature. So I think all they do is it's much more sophisticated than this, but under vacuum they will heat the beer up to like about 175 is when you get evaporation from alcohol, and it'll evaporate out, and through vacuum it keeps everything else stable and just removes the alcohol.
Interesting. Okay.
So essentially they're distilling the beer, but you know, at a certain temperature, but under a vacuum. Yeah.
So why does it taste so much different, right? Like why does, and we haven't tasted this one.
Well, does it?
Oh, does it?
Well, so now we're talking like maybe old school, old duels and stuff like that, where they're literally like stripping the alcohol out, doing like a different method, which basically strip the flavor from the beer.
Okay.
But nowadays there's sophisticated equipment that maintains the integrity of the beer.
Okay.
So you could actually brew the beer like you would normally, and then just literally strip and pinpoint the alcohol and just get that out.
Yeah.
So an Athletic Brewing Company, if you guys have ever tried any beers from them out of San Diego,
they're kind of they are godfathers of that.
They are, and all of their beers I've had, they're all really good. You know, and it's weird. Like, why do you want to drink an non-alcoholic beer? Like, just drink water, right? I mean, but sometimes you do. I mean, you want to have, you know, people that want to even fit in or sit, you know, or at a bar or whatever, hanging out with a friend, but they don't want to, drink, maybe their designated driver, something to that effect.
Yep.
But they kind of still want to fit in, because don't you hate it when you go to a party and everyone's always trying to push something on you because you don't have anything in your hand?
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's you don't have a beer. Here's a beer. Here's a beer.
Pressure. I hate beer.
There's a lot of
beer pressure.
Beer pressure. So imagine you just walking around with this light, hazy,
16-ounce can.
Yep.
Right?
And people ain't gonna bother you, man.
Yeah.
They're gonna leave you alone. They'll be like, man, that boy be drinking, and you can be pounding back. So this beer comes in a very hay-like.
Very light.
Yeah, very hay-like color. Almost looks like a blonde in a sense, but it's really, really light. Tight, white, compact bubbles on it. But hey, man, let's get a drive-by aroma.
Oh, man, that smells.
It smells like a hazy IPA.
Yeah, yes, it does. I had a couple non-alcoholic Heinekens, I don't know, maybe about a year ago. So I was taking a certain medication that I couldn't have alcohol, right? We were saying about like, why would you not, and I don't want to drink water, right? I do like the taste of beer. So I had a couple Heineken non-alcoholic, and it was actually pretty good. Yeah. Like I was, remember back in the day, my dad would get the O'Douls, and I was like, that is horrible. Or the St. Pauli girl. Yeah. But this is a different ball game now. Yep. So now this is different. Like this is, Heineken's Heineken. This is a hazy IPA.
Yeah. I mean, the aroma, it has a lot of citrus to it. It actually has like almost like a candy, gummy worm candy kind of thing going on the back end too.
Sure.
It has like that nice citrus flow of like, Citra, obviously hop kind of character to it.
Yep. Yeah, if I was smelling this, I would never guess this was a non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
Yeah. So far so good. Arizona Wilderness, nice work.
So good.
So they use the Sinagua malt in this, some fruit-forward American hops, and for balanced bitterness and a quick, snappy finish. So
nice. Well, let's get a taste on it.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you, Kings.
I mean,
yeah,
it's not beer.
It's so where the aroma was fantastic. Yeah, the body is definitely very, very thin bodied. Yeah. Definitely not, doesn't drink like an India Pale Ale as far as like the mouthfeel is concerned. Drinks kind of like a lager.
Sure. Yeah.
And then even has some like lager characteristics too in the taste. But definitely, you're not drinking a hazy IPA when you're tasting it.
Yeah. Now, so this will be an interesting one for us to rate, right? Because we rate them up against other ones that we've had, So immediately we thought of it as like, oh, what is this compared to an IPA? Where it's not,
right?
We can't compare it to an IPA.
I would compare it to I would say athletic IPA.
Sure, and you've had that, I haven't had that. Yeah. But I would say this, while this is not, I'm not going to crave this.
Right.
If I'm in a situation where I do need to not be consuming alcohol, I'd go for
drink
this.
It.
Yeah, I would. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, the one thing on it for me is I'm not sure how Arizona Wilderness did it, right? Not sure what process they used to remove the alcohol, but it does leave like a little bit of an aftertaste in there. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if there's like maybe a chemical thing or process that went on, but there is to me kind of like a little bit of like a chemical astringency kind of thing going on in there.
Sure.
I don't know if it's just me and, it's 11 o'clock in the morning and
it's only your fourth beer. So.
Yeah. Well, only my eighth beer. It's not even a beer.
But yeah, I know what you mean. So to me, it has a little bit of remnants of a session, right?
Yeah,
a very, very light session.
Yeah.
Even a session.
It's a session.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it, actually.
Yeah.
I really like, this is a session India Pale Ale, which actually I'd go for that.
Yeah.
It's a good descriptor.
So based on that mindset of it, this is pretty decent.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. Again, like you said, we usually kick off brewing like at 5 a.m. or something like that, and it's hilarious because sometimes, like when you're brewing, you kind of get the itch. You're like, man, I really just want to have a beer.
Sure.
And it's like 6 a.m. now, and you're like, but I would crack one of these open, and have that, in the morning, and just have a NA beer.
Here's my only, I guess here would be my only negative viewpoint of a non-alcoholic beer is if I'm going to get bloated, I'm going to get buzzed, right? So,
Gotcha.
you know, I can deal with the bloat if I can have the buzz. That,
Right.
that needs to go on a shirt, right?
I could do that. Is a great. Yeah, I could deal with the bloat.
Yeah, because it still does have that, it still does have that filling,
Yeah.
that filling feeling.
That beer feeling.
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
deal. Yeah.
Which is not my favorite. I don't like getting bloated, and my wife can see. She's like, "I'm at your belly. I can see it growing." I'm like, well,
That's
the
what happens.
carbonation. That's the carbonation, Jackie. That's one of my favorite parts about it. All right, man. So how would you grade this compared to Athletic or other?
So the Athletic IPA, hazy IPA is really, really good. I mean, it
Okay.
tastes like you could blind taste it, and you would think you're just drinking a regular IPA.
Okay, impressive.
Yeah. So they did an amazing job, and actually they have a milk stout too that. It's probably like one of my favorite milk stouts, even amongst regular beer. Yeah.
That's an interesting
Yeah.
one, right? Because you think
Yeah.
of like lagers or Pilsner or IPAs, pale ales. You don't think of a milk stout as a
Yeah,
non-alcoholic.
they have a milk
Interesting.
stout in a beer that is delicious. But anyway, so yeah, I think this kind of this is new for Wilderness, and I'm sure they're probably still working and tweaking and doing all sorts of stuff. And I'm sure this is probably going to improve over time. Like,
Sure.
not this in the can, obviously, but their process is
Yeah.
going to improve over time. So, but based right now, yeah, I mean, I'm probably like 75. Because compared to Athletic.
75 out of a scale of 1 to 10 that we usually do.
Are we doing 1 to 10? We do 1 to 10?
We always do, right?
Oh yeah, we do. So 7.5.
I kind of, yeah.
7.5.
I would give this thing an 8.5 for a few reasons. Is just the fact that they're doing it right, that they're taking those steps to not only just have a non-alcoholic beer at their tap room for people, but to put it in a can and to put some feeling behind it, and give it a really cool label, and go towards an IPA instead of making, I don't say taking the easy way out with like a lager or pilsner, but And it doesn't taste that bad. It doesn't. I'm never going to crave this. I'm never going to be like, man, I need to get a 4-pack of that non-alcoholic.
Right.
However, if I'm in a situation where I can't be drinking, I would go for that. So I'd say 8.5 for this one.
Oh yeah, so not too bad.
No.
Not too bad at all.
Okay, that was our first beer. We're going to be reviewing a few today. We got the non-alcoholic one out of the way. Let's have some real beers.
Let's have some real beer. So yeah, hey guys, thanks for watching, and thanks to King's Beer and Wine for hosting us and allowing us to do this. We really appreciate them.
Absolutely.
Mark and Sarah are awesome folks, and all the folks here at King's are amazing. So anytime you're in Central Thomas area, come hit up King's.
Come on in. Come on. We might be here.
Yeah, we probably will be here.
Yeah. if it's been a long day, maybe you should suggest a non-alcoholic for us.
Yes,
That's where this would come into play. But
absolutely.
please don't do that. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers.